Hi, welcome to International Recaps. The movie starts in 2024. We see various countries of the world on fire. Actually, this is a time when wars are going on all over the world. Everyone is fighting each other. Later, the story shifts to the past, to 1988. We meet a detective police officer. His name is Thomas. He goes to the scene of an accident with his friend. The driver died on the spot. She was a girl, her neck was examined, and there were 3 holes. 2 more people died in the same manner in this city. This means they also had holes in their necks. Later, Thomas went to the lab with his friend. The doctor says that 3 of them died of the same cause. You're right, they died because of the holes in their necks. But we are unable to find out in what manner they were attacked, and how they were killed. Later, Thomas learned that another girl had been attacked in the club. She is alive. So Thomas goes to investigate with his colleague. A detective was there, and he was the brother of Thomas's wife. Together, they began interrogating the assaulted girl. The girl was scared, panicked, and she tells them that a girl attacked me. She was wearing a blue hoodie and had blood on her hand. She was feeling pain in her neck while telling them this. Her pain increased, and she died. After examination, the same spots were found on the neck. From this, they realized that the same girl who killed her killed 3 people today. So they arrest and interrogate anyone wearing a blue hoodie. When Thomas and his companion were going by car, they saw a girl with a blue hoodie. When she saw them, she covered her face and started running. Thomas and his companion followed her. She runs and reaches the train station. Thomas' companion caught her. He came tactfully and grabbed her, but she pushed him back to escape, and then, hitting a glass door, he fell. As a result, one of his legs breaks. Then Thomas also reaches there and puts the hoodie girl at gunpoint. Here we learn that her name is Raya. She tells Thomas that his wife will give birth to a baby today, but your wife will die. Thomas does not believe her and comes forward to catch her. They fight each other. Thomas grabbed her leg, but Raya handcuffed him skillfully. As she leaves, Thomas gets the weapon she used to kill people. He attacks Raya's legs with this weapon. As a result, she becomes unbalanced. Then she fell in front of the moving train and died. Thomas breathed a sigh of relief after killing her, because he solved this case. When he came out, he learned that his wife had been admitted to the hospital. Today she is going to give birth to a baby. When Thomas entered the hospital, as it happens, he is now the father of a baby girl. He doesn't pay much attention, believing that what the girl named Raya told him could be a coincidence. Then a police officer comes and tells Thomas that the dead girl, Raya, a bullet was found in her body. That means someone shot her, but Thomas doesn't care. He was very happy because his daughter was born today. Later, a doctor came sadly and told Thomas, "Your wife's condition worsens. It is with great sadness that we tell you that we have saved your daughter, but we cannot save your wife from death." Thomas was devastated when he heard this. He was sad but shocked as well. Raya has told Thomas the same. This means she was telling Thomas about his future. This question keeps roaming in Thomas's mind. How did she know that? Many years pass like this, but Thomas doesn't get his answer. Thomas's daughter has grown up, and today she turned 9 years old. Today was her birthday, as his wife died on this day. He goes to his wife's grave with his daughter, where someone had already kept flowers. He thinks either his detective friend or his wife's brother did this. Thomas calls them, and both of them haven't kept these flowers. He begins to think about who has kept these flowers. Then he receives a call and is informed that a murder has been committed in the city. That is committed in the same way as the 4 people in 1988 were murdered. On the site where the accident took place, Thomas goes and checks the CCTV. He sees a blue hoodie girl, looking like Raya. Thomas begins to think that she died 9 years ago. Everyone explains to him that maybe the killer has deliberately worn the blue hoodie, so she could distract us. Thomas had doubts, so he opened the 9-year-old file of Raya. With her luggage, he finds a key. He gives it to his officer companion to check. Thomas learns that another girl was killed at the airport. When he goes with his companion, the girl has the same holes in her neck. From this, Thomas realizes that whoever this murderer is, he kills everyone the same way. That way is similar to the murders committed 9 years ago. He also learns that the murderers had a writer's book with them. Whoever was killed had the same book with them. For this reason, he has many questions on his mind, but he couldn't find the answers. It was discovered that the key Thomas had given for inspection was the plane's key, which had been manufactured a year earlier. Knowing this, Thomas gets more worried. How did Raya, who died 9 years ago, get the key to this plane if it was built a year ago? Then a scientist comes to Thomas, and he tells Thomas, every year when there is a lunar eclipse, there comes a time when we can travel into the past. We can go to the past while traveling. For that purpose, I've made a machine too. Thomas and his companions find his words useless, so they don't pay much attention to him. And the doctor goes after being hopeless. Thomas and his companion come to the place where the plane was. whose key he has. He goes alone, and then Raya comes in front of him, and she points her gun at him. Seeing her alive, Thomas was shocked. She died in front of him. How is she alive now? And her age hasn't grown as well. At gunpoint, Raya was about to tell Tom something. Then Thomas's friend comes inside. As she turns back, she mistakenly shoots the gun. As a result, Thomas's companion died. As the police arrive, Raya forcibly takes Thomas on the plane. While flying, she tells Thomas he'll be shocked to see me alive, won't he? Actually, I came to the past by time traveling. This is what I do to fix the future. If I don't do this, everything will be changed in the future. Everything will be destroyed. I can only travel in time on the night of the moon's eclipse. Thomas thinks that this is the same theory that the doctor told him a while ago. Before saying anything else, Raya pushed Thomas down, and he somehow manages to come out of the water. The next morning, when the police come to investigate, they find the broken pieces of the plane there. It means that their plane crashed, but Raya is nowhere to be found. Thomas tells everyone that he has talked to that girl, Raya. She comes to the past by time traveling, but obviously, no one believes him. Later, we see the scene from 2006. This means 9 years have passed. Thomas's life has totally changed. He has left his police job. He always reads about the moon's eclipse. He has not seen the scientist for a long time. His daughter has grown older and is now living with her mom's brother. Now, Thomas finds out that there was a murder committed in 1998. They don't have any reports of it, so he goes to the grave of the man who was the writer. As he opens it and checks his skeleton, there are also holes in his neck. That is, he was also killed by Raya. So he goes to the writer's house and meets his wife. Before dying, my husband used to run a group, and he has written a book. Now, Thomas has learned from a paper that this book belonged to everyone who died in 1997 and 1988. Along with this, a friend of the writer is alive and is running this group. Knowing this, Thomas goes to meet him, because he knows that the next turn will be of the writer's friend. Raya will kill him because it was eclipse night today. Now, he goes there, but it's too late. The friend of the writer was killed. Then Thomas sees Raya, who was running from there. He shoots at her, and a bullet hits her hand. Then she runs from there, and Thomas chases her. She goes to a big pipeline near the seashore. When he goes there, he sees the time travel machine on the other side of the pipe. Rhea sat on it and filled the machine with water. The machine disappears from there in intense light. That she'll come to 1988 by time traveling. She died because of him. From her body, a bullet was found that Thomas had hit her in 2006. About this bullet, the police officer told Thomas when his daughter was born. Now, Thomas has understood all the matters. When the police arrive, he tries to make everyone understand, but no one believes him. Along with this, he was arrested. The police think that he must have killed the writer's friend. Later, we see the year 2015. 9 years have passed, and Thomas is still engaged in solving this strange case. He always lives outside the pipe that went inside the Raya time machine. And it was also moon eclipse night today. And he was sure that Raya would surely come, although his daughter was going to have a baby today. But he didn't go. He wants the answer to the questions that he has been searching for years. Finally, the time machine comes and breaks there. Raya comes out of the machine, and Thomas points his gun at her and asks her to tell him who she is. She tells him that she is Raya, his granddaughter. And I am traveling in time because you've asked me to do this. I started my journey in the year 2024, where the world is burning, destroying, because there are wars in the world. And this is happening because of the writer's book, which he wrote in 1988. Because after reading that book, people had a great influence on their minds. Because of that book, people started to fight with the world. And the whole world has become a battlefield. To save the world, the scientist has made a time machine, in which, after 9 years, one could only travel on the night of the moon eclipse. I am killing all those people after traveling back into the past, who have been caused for the war, so I could save the world from destruction. Thomas sees that there is no mark of the bullet on Raya's hand. It means after completing her mission in 2015, she'll come to 2006 by time travel when Thomas shoots at her hand. Then in 1997, and then in 1988, when she'll die because of Thomas. Raya gives him the bracelet that he gave his wife. Thomas gets worried to know this, that he is the killer of his granddaughter because she'll die because of him. He tells Raya to stop him until she goes to 1988. So I can't kill you and then come back to the future. Raya tells him that this isn't possible because my travel is one-sided. With time travel, I can only go into the past once. I can't return to my own time. After going 9 years back every time, I'll kill the writer in 1988. So he can't write the book since the war started. After knowing the truth, Thomas gets sad. Later, Raya tells him to go to the hospital because she is going to give birth today. Saying this, she goes. When Thomas comes to the hospital, his granddaughter has just been born. He gets happy to see her. Raya going back 9 years each time. Will kill everyone who becomes the reason for the war. Finally, she reached the writer who was writing this book. The book will become the reason for the war. So she kills the writer before its completion. Later, we are shown the future time, which is 2024, where all the destruction started to end up. Everything was fine. It means no war has broken out there. Raya died during her mission to save the world, but she has completed her mission. This movie ends here. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.